Greetings, comic book friends. I have a mail call that I got here. First, I apologize for the mess behind me. I've been going through some storage stuff, digging things out to get rid of, and the fallout of it is still kind of behind me. I'm still kind of going through stuff, so apologize for the mess back there. So this purchase was through a seller that I'd kind of like to talk about. It's kind of rare that when I get something, a mail call, I talk about the seller in particular. I want to say this is in no way was no way sponsored or endorsed or whatever by this particular seller. They don't know that they probably even know I have a YouTube channel, or that I'm doing this video. It's just, it was one of these occasions. Not that I usually have problems with sellers, but one of these occasions where every step along the way and every part of this transaction was fantastic. So this is from Reese's Rare Comics, and there's a Instagram, Facebook presence, and they have a website. And I'll throw links down in the description there. So Reese's Rare Comics, after the fact, I reached out to him, just curious about what kind of business model was and stuff. It's apparently it's this gentleman, Reece, and his brother. They don't have a brick and mortar store or anything. They have an online presence. And they go around doing conventions and whatnot. So I don't know. I was just so happy with everything about it. I'm happy with the books. I'm happy with just everything. I'll go over some of the highlights of what I really liked about it. But first, I'll get into the books a little bit. So they had posted something on Instagram that I saw that I wanted. So I started there, as I usually do. If I see something that I like or that I want, especially if it's a bigger ticket item, I'll go and say, well, what else is there? I think it makes it easier to make deals with people if you're getting more stuff, right? So let me see what else they have that I'm looking for, because there's always stuff that I'm looking for. And they had some stuff, so we were able to strike up a deal. So I got a few copies of Submariner. Let's see. I believe one is a replacement for a copy I already have. But first, so we have Submariner number 2. Low number, very cool. So we got that. This is the replacement, Submariner number 23. The one that I have is a little beat up. In normal circumstances, I probably would be okay with it, but this is the first appearance of Orca. Not a major character, but if you're into Submariner, Orca is a reoccurring villain. Not very often, but he shows up. So I wanted a better copy of it. I think I probably got the first one. I don't know. I got it really cheap, and I was like, I'll put it in there in case I don't find another one by the time I'm ready to start reading it. But they had this in nice shape. So I picked up that. And Submariner number 30 has a Captain Marvel appearance in there. I think this is one that I needed and not a replacement. So got 2 new books for the Submariner Silver Age run, and then one replacement of a better copy of a very minor key issue. And then 4 copies or 4 issues of Tales to Astonish. So, in keeping with the Submariner stuff, got Tales to Astonish number 81. This actually also is a key. This is the first appearance of Boomerang. I think this is, first of all, it's a super cool cover with Hulk looming in the background. Boomerang looking really goofy here. But Boomerang not a huge character, but he's not super small either. He's kind of active today in Amazing Spider-Man. Is Spider-Man's roommate. But I'm surprised how cheap this book is for a first appearance, even if it is of just Boomerang. It's not expensive at all. It really isn't much more than any other Tales to Astonish of this era, which I found surprising. But I hadn't. It's one of those again that I'd seen copies of it, but because it was a first appearance, it was a key. I did want to hold out for a better looking copy of it, and they had one that was sort of in the area of what I wanted. Tales to Astonish number 87. Nothing super significant there, and just one that I need. 88. And 92. So 4 more issues to go towards the Tales to Astonish run, which I am always happy to add things to, get that a little bit closer to being able to read it. I'm so excited to be able to read that. Now, so those are the things that I got that were on top of the one thing that I was going for. And it's pretty good. It's not the hugest thing in the world. But it is very important for me to get. It is the Amazing Spider-Man number 5. So this is the first appearance of Doctor Doom outside of Fantastic Four. I don't know if I'd call that a key. It is in the notes as, first Doctor Doom appearance outside Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four cameo. So got this in a CGC 4.0. So in my ASM run, in sort of the 1 through 10 area, 4.0 is kind of what I'm targeting. It's just that area where I think the book still looks nice. The defects with it can kind of be categorized as personality. But no, major pieces missing or anything like that. There's some tears, there's some chipping and things like that. But I think 4.0 is a good grade to have, and it keeps it in the more reasonably priced area. Could I get this in a 5 or 6 or whatever? Yeah, sure. But I'd rather have that buying power between the 4 and 5 or 6 to put towards something else. I'm perfectly happy with a 4 in my my single digit Spideys. So of course this brings me one step closer to my full run of Amazing Spider-Man. So we have a countdown to ASM 0 is now 5. Appropriate that I got Amazing Spider-Man number 5, and that brings the countdown to 5. 5 more issues of Amazing Spider-Man to go, and we're getting there. That's it for what I got. If anyone's interested, I do kind of want to talk a little bit about my experience with Reese's Rare Comics. So as I mentioned, I follow him on Instagram. I think I just found him randomly at some point as having some cool stuff, and they were suggested or something. I said, yeah, follow. They had posted a handful of things they had just gotten in, and this was one of them. And I said, I need that. It's also the exact grade that I want. How often does that happen, right? You get a book that's not easy to find, and it is the specific grade that I'm looking for. 4.0 is exactly what I wanted in this book, and they had it, and it was listed for what I thought was a decent price. So I went to their site and again started looking around and poking around and stuff. The first thing I did is look this up, and it was up there. The site is very nice. What I really, really like about this site that I haven't seen on any other sites is it's a full normal sort of site to buy things. You have their shopping cart and things like that. All that stuff is there. But and they have good descriptions, good pictures, pictures of all the books. The ones that I looked at, most of them had pictures of the back as well, which is important. Always look at the back. The biggest things that I see, and I have to tell customers when they send me stuff to like evaluate or press or things like that, is, make sure you look at the back, because the fronts will look great, and then I'll pull it out and I'll look at the back like, hey, did you know that the back had this really bad thing on it? Like, no, I didn't look at it. Like, when it comes to grade and therefore value, the back is just as important as the front. A chunk taken out of the back will hurt you as much as a chunk taken out of the front. So that was nice. And then if there were, from what I saw, if there were any sort of major issues with the book that weren't observable by the pictures, they would put a little note that says, hey, this is something, 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 be aware. So that was really great. But the other thing that they had, like next to the like add to cart, is there was a make an offer button. This is so great. Now, and it makes sense if they're this place's sort of main mode of operation is sales through Instagram and conventions, because when you do that, you like, as a buyer, you like to have the ability to say, hey, you're asking this, will you accept this, to make offers. And especially if you're getting multiple things, to be like, hey, I'm going to buy all this stuff, let's work something out. On most sites that are just add to cart, it's hard to do that. But this had it built right in. Excuse me. Now, there is sort of, there's some logic behind the scenes that, if you have like, let's just make it $100 book, and you say, I offer you $5, like it's automatic, like, no, right? There's some formula behind the scenes. I doubt that they go in into each one and say the lowest they'll accept is, it's probably some percentage or something that they'll allow, but it's there, and that's really cool. And not only that, when I was buying more stuff, and I understand maybe there not be a whole lot of room to move on this, my idea was on these things, some of these might be things that sit around for a while. They might be willing to take a little bit more off. So some of the offers I put on some of these things went below whatever that cutoff was. So I reached out to Reece on Instagram, and he was very attentive. I responded back right away. We had back and forth and discussed a little bit, and we're able to come to a deal. So the actual purchase process was really great. Had good advertising on Instagram. The site was great images. The prices were already good. The ability to submit an offer was good. Had to reach out to the owner directly, and that communication was good. It was just like this. All this stuff came together to make a really great experience. When it came to shipping, like the shipping, it became priority in your standard like $15 priority mail. So one of the questions I had when shipping was labeled as $15, I'm like, well, I'm getting something like this has a good chunk of value to it. How's it only $15? Is it not insured or whatever? Because usually, insurance costs more. The normal priority shipping only insures for $50. This is valued more than $50. And he responded to me and says, like, well, no, don't worry. We have our own, they have their own insurance, which is not something I really knew that people could do, but the stuff that they send out is insured through their own insurer, which means for the buyers that shipping is going to be just what it costs to ship it without having to pay extra insurance, but you're insured. That's awesome. That's great. For for them, that's an extra, probably annual fee they have to pay to the insurance company to make sure it's insured. But for the buyer, it's like, hey, I only have to pay like base shipping costs, and you're sending out hundreds, thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars, who knows, for the stuff that they sell, or the stuff the buyer is buying, and it's great. It's great. Because one of the biggest things, especially when we're buying more valuable comics, is the shipping and the insurance is just an extra bit of thing you have to take into account with your purchases. And if I don't have to worry about that, about the extra shipping or insurance cost, that's good, right? That's good for the buyer. What else? The packing was great. All the non-slabbed issues, they're all in Mylars with like the really nice backs. I don't know. Like everything about the transaction was so great. They know what they're doing and they do it well. I will definitely go back. I'm sure they're going to get in more stuff that I need. They probably have stuff that I need now, but I just didn't want to spend that much at this time on it. But yeah, I can't suggest them enough. Now, they don't seem to have like a lot of that modern stuff, right? This is mostly, your silver, bronze. I'm sure they have some golden. I didn't really look, but it's sort of one of those high dollar value sort of shops. Not these are super high dollars, but obviously they're going to have stuff like this when they're buying collections that are high dollar collections. You're going to get the Silver Age filler stuff. But that's the kind of stuff that I saw there. Not so much in the modern, but maybe I just wasn't looking in the right places. But it looked like there was a great selection there. I could have spent a lot more time on the site looking for stuff, but I decided that what I had found, the ASM5, and I'm really wanting to fill these two runs, so I searched specifically for those. Yeah, check them out. Reese's Rare Comics. It was a great experience for me. I'm sure it'll be a great experience for you, especially if you're looking for this kind of stuff. So that's it. Pretty exciting pickup. I'm the days are numbered. While I get to have new Amazing Spider-Man books, right? I only got 5 of them left. Only got 5 countdown videos left, because then it's done, right? So this is I was really excited to get that. It's such a good cover too. No. Anyway, I'm super happy to get this book. I'm super happy that I got it who I got it from and was able to give them business. And maybe you will consider it too. Again, not endorse in any way. It's just I feel that it's a benefit to the community if I find a great seller and can recommend them for a good experience for you as well. Then I want to convey that information to you, that if you're looking for this kind of caliber stuff and this sort of experience, that it's a place that it's worth checking out. So that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.